Hi weaving friends, today I'm going to be talking to you about the looms that I currently own and which loom or looms are on my wish list. I hope you can forgive the mess in my little studio. I've just got so much going on at the moment that I haven't really made the time to clean up properly after each project, which I really should do. Now I'm going to start with the very first loom that I ever bought, and it's my Ashford Ridgid heddle loom. It's a 60 centimetre or 24-inch loom, and I bought the stand to go along with it. This is the loom out of all of my looms that I have used the most, and I call it my little workhorse. If you watch my classes on Teachable, you will notice that this is the loom that I'm normally teaching classes on, as around 99% of my classes at the moment are on the Ridgid heddle loom. When I first bought this loom, the reason that I chose this size really came down to the price. I wasn't really sure what I was buying at that time. I had some advice from some helpful people, and they recommended that I not buy too small, which was great advice for me, because it's allowed me to do all kinds of things on this size loom, and it also fits into my space very well. For this loom I have 7.5, 10, 12.5 and 15 dent heddles, and I have multiple copies of each of those sizes of heddles because I do like to often weave with more than one heddle at a time. Now another Ridgid heddle loom that I have is the Ashford Sampleit. This one weaves just under 10-inch weaving width, and I actually bought this one for my girls because they often complained that my other Ridgid heddle loom was always busy, which is true. And so I bought this for them so that they could have a play around with weaving while I had the other loom. But I think that I've actually used it more than they have. What I've found with it is that it's really awesome for sampling new ideas because it's so short from front to back that you can put on a really short warp. It's not a huge commitment, but at the same time you can use it for something longer like weaving a scarf. So it's been a really valuable purchase for me. It also means that I can have something small going on this loom while I've got something bigger on the other loom. Yet another Ashford loom that I own. What can I say? Ashford make great looms. They're very affordable, they're very sturdy, and I've had no problems with them. This one is the Incall Dome. So they have the Incall and the Louet. This is the larger version of the Incall loom. Doesn't have anything on it at the moment, but I did just recently finish weaving this band, and I really haven't had enough time to explore this loom as much as I would have liked. There's a lot more that I want to do with it. I've done fairly simple things on it so far. It doesn't take up a lot of space and it's very affordable, but people do often build their own Incall looms because, as you can see, it's a fairly basic structure. As long as you can get this tensioning system going well, that's an important thing. No, this one is not a loom, but I just wanted to show you what my husband built me over the weekend. It's a warping stand, and I've wanted one for so long. They're just really expensive to buy, and so he built me this one in a couple of hours, and it cost him only a fraction of the price of buying a new one. And actually I posted this on Instagram, and it was one of my most popular posts ever. So I said to him, you should be doing the YouTube videos. Anyway, if you're interested in knowing how he built this, or if you want some plans or whatever it is to build your own, let me know and I'll pass that on to him. And finally, the prize of the pack is my beautiful David 2 by Louet. It's an 8-shaft loom, and I love it for many reasons. I do have a review of it already on my YouTube channel. And once again, I really haven't used this as much as I would like to, but I see this as a forever loom, so looking at it that way, I've got the rest of my life to play around on this. I also have coming up the second installment of my floor loom series videos, so you can look forward to that if you are with me on Teachable. And I'll be letting you know about a bunch of new techniques, a few different ways of doing things, and I have some great projects for you as well. Before I bought my floor loom, I did have an Ashford table loom. It was an 80 centimetre, 30-inch table loom, and it had 8 shafts, and it was a really great loom. It was fantastic in a lot of ways. it helped me very much to make the transition from a rigid headed loom to a multi-shaft loom. And unfortunately I had to sell it when I bought my floor loom because I absolutely ran out of space. I just have half a room here at the moment. Maybe one day I will be lucky enough to have my own room and studio for all of my equipment, but unfortunately the table loom had to go. I also have demonstrations and reviews of that loom on this channel if you're interested. I do constantly recommend this loom to people. And it's my secret hope that one day I might be able to get another table loom, but I would get one on a smaller scale. I think the Katie loom by Ashford looks really great. It has 8 shafts, but it's very compact and it folds down. So for me, for future classes as a teacher, I think that would be great. One thing I want you to bear in mind is if you're thinking, oh, she's so lucky she has all of these looms. This is all part of my work. This is what I do now. I teach weaving, so it's essential for me to have the right tools and to have a variety of looms to be able to do lessons with. Now to my wish list. Well, recently I've been doing an awful lot of tapestry. I finished off my tapestry class on Teachable. By the way, if you want links to my Teachable school, they'll all be down below. And doing all of that tapestry recently has made me realize how much I enjoy it. You might have seen my other video on tapestry weaving on a rigid headed loom where I detail that it's okay for doing tapestry, but it's not the most ideal sort of loom. Also, if I have a tapestry on one of my rigid headed looms, well, it's quite a time investment to complete one tapestry. And so I would rather have a separate loom to do that. Now, the sort of loom that I've been looking at as a tapestry loom are Mirix looms, and thank you very much to Mirix for giving me permission to use this image of the Big Sister, which is I think a 16-inch loom, and it's the one that I've been eyeing off the most because I think it would fit really well into my space, or at least I could make enough space for it because I have very little space left. And it comes with a stand. You can stand it upright so it takes up less space that way. So even if I've got something on that loom, I can just stand it out of the way somewhere. They also look really sturdy and beautiful. I love the fact that they use copper. I love the fact that they have a shedding device, and they just seem like a really good solid loom that are made by weavers, made and designed by weavers for weavers, and I love that. You can also see a link for Mirix looms underneath this video. I have a blog post that accompanies this video. It has a few more details, has links for you in case you missed any of the links and you're interested in knowing more. And I will also put the link to that blog post down below. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Just leave them in the comments below. And until next time, happy weaving.